Hello everyone, welcome to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will start with our project 3 on ETL based on Azure Data Factory. So let's get started. Let's talk about the architecture of this project first. So in this project, what we will do is we will have some data in our Google Sheets. We know that we can edit, modify and do all the operation on the sheets itself, right? Now, what we will do is we will connect Google Sheets with Azure Data Factory via a connector, and we will be using Google Cloud for that. Now, once our data is present in the Azure Data Factory, we will perform some ETL transformations and we will store the data into the Blob storage in the form of Parquet file. Now, you must be thinking, what are Parquet files? They are just like we have, CSV, Excel. There is a new format which is the Parquet file, which stores data in the binary format. By doing this, we save a lot of memory and space because they are highly compressed files. And because we are doing everything on cloud, and it will save cost a lot. And on top of that Parquet file, we will connect it with the Power BI desktop and we will create some visuals to get some insights on our data. So this is the architecture which we will follow. Also, we will cover some more tools which I will talk about in the project itself. So stay tuned. So the main thing is it's an integration of Google Cloud with Azure Cloud. So let's get started with it. I will be creating everything from scratch. So I will also provide the subtitles. If you know how to create data factory and you have already created it, you can skip that part, but I will make sure that the person who is starting from the beginning also, they can get to know about this project. So this project is of low level only, like everyone who is even a beginner can create this project easily if they follow this tutorial carefully. If you have any doubt related to any part, you can definitely put it down in comment section and I will definitely reply over it. So let's get started with the project. So firstly, let me show you the sheet. So this is my Google Sheet. The sheet is containing basically data related to the bank accounts. So there are 3 people, Sai, Ritika and Jeet. They have some FDs in their account, right? So these are the account numbers, and then we have the bank name, and then we have the tenure for which they have the FDs, and then we have the interest over the FDs and the total amount created, the maturity amount and so on. So this is the data which we will be using, and we will show the insights like which is the in this particular year what is the maximum FD deposit, and then we will see when will be its maturity and all the insights related bank data we will perform in Power BI at the end once we are done with our ETL operations. So let's get started. Let's play with this data and let's rock on. So firstly, what I will do is we need to go to Azure Data Factory. And firstly, we will go to the portal of Azure. You just need to press portal.azure.com. You need to have a subscription. I'm using a student subscription. You can also create a student subscription if you are a student. Also, you can take a free trial of Azure Cloud by putting some credit card information. So definitely you can create this account. Once you have created this account, you will land into this page. What you need to do is firstly we need to have a subscription. So now I have a subscription named Azure for Students. In one subscription we can have multiple resource groups. Resource group is nothing but collection of resources. Now what are resources? It can be ADF, it can be blob storage, it can be a virtual machine and anything, right? So it's a hierarchy. Firstly one account can have multiple the subscriptions. One particular subscription can have multiple resource group. One particular resource group can have multiple resources, right? This is how the Azure perform a graph level hierarchy. So let's get started creating a resource group first. So I have a subscription Azure for Students. In this, I will go to resource group and I will create a resource group. I'll create a new resource group and I will name it as FinBI. Because we are dealing with financial data, so I will name it as FinBI resource group. You can do it, you can name it anything, it's your choice, and then you just need to click on review and create. Let's click on it. Okay, so okay, now the validation have passed, so I'll just click on create button again. So it will validate first and then it will create. Okay, so my resource group is created. At the top right corner you can see go to resource group. I'll go to the resource group. So in this resource group I have no resource at all. So what I need is, firstly I need a storage where I need a data factory, and that's it, right? We need two things initially. So let's quickly create it. So we need to click on create button. Firstly, it will take us to marketplace where you can see a lot of resources related to Azure. So I will search for data factory. Once I search for data factory, it will show me the data factory. I'll click over it, and now I will click on create button. Alright, so this is how it will look like. My subscription name is Azure for Students. Resource group is FinBI. I need to name my data factory. So I'll say FinBI data factory. Alright, so now I just need to click on review and create, but just see, firstly told validation failed. Let's see what it what basically failed. So we'll configure the git later. We don't want to configure git. If you want, you can do it, but we'll not do it as of now. So now I will just go to all the tags and let's see if the validation passes or not. So sometimes there is a glitch. If you navigate to all the pages, it will vanish off and you will see the validation success message. Now we'll click on create button and we'll wait for some time and our data factory will get created. Now I will go back and I will create a blob storage where we will be storing our data after the ETL operations, and for that I will just go to storage accounts. I'll just click on create to create a blob storage. Now once I click on create, so I will be going to this particular page. I need to select subscription, which is Azure for Students, resource group, which is my FinBI again, and now I will name it as storage FinBI as my storage account name. So just see, blob storage can only contain small case letters, so I'll say storage FinBI, and let's see if it is fine. We'll navigate to all the settings. I guess everything is fine. I don't want some special settings to be done. So what I will do is I'll just click on review and I'll click on create button. Now this is initializing, like our blob storage is being created. It's in the process, so let's wait for it. Now what we need to do is just see, as of now what we have done is we have created a blob storage where we will be storing our data after some ETL operation in the ADF part. Now the question is how to connect this thing, this Google Sheets with the Azure Data Factory. This is the main thing which we need to do. We'll see how we can do it in a moment. Let's go back to the architectures again. So just see, we have the sheets. Now this is our sheet. I just showed you the Google Sheet which we will be using. Now we will connect this Google Sheet with ADF using Google Cloud. So we'll go to console.google.com. We will enable some API and we will connect Sheets with ADF. Now after connecting Sheets with the ADF, what we need to do is inside the ADF we will perform some ETL operation. Okay, we'll extract the data from the Sheets. We'll transform it and we'll load it and we'll store it in a blob storage in the form of what? In the form of Parquet file. So I'll just write down PQ. So PQ stands for Parquet file. Alright. Now once we have all the data in the blob storage, we will connect our blob storage with the Power BI desktop and we will create visualization on Power BI. So this is a project, a very cool project. I know the architecture is very, this architecture is not industry level, but yeah, you need to learn all the things. So I am creating this architecture definitely in place of sheets. There may be databases, there may be anything, right? There can be multiple sources of data and so on. But this is a low level hierarchy so that you can get familiar with what is Google Cloud, what is ADF, what is blob storage, and so on. So let's continue again. let's see, my ADF is created, my blob storage is also created. So now let me go to my ADF. So my resource group was FinBI. I'll go to my FinBI. As I told, resource group is nothing but collection of resources. So I have two resources, FinBI and storage FinBI. Now what I will do is I'll go to my data factory, Fin Data Factory. I'll just click on Launch Studio and my data factory will get launched. Let's wait for it. It takes a while, while opening the ADF part. So it's loading. Let's wait for it to load. Alright, still it is loading. Let's wait. Alright, so once it is loaded, what we need to do is we need to go to manage section. So it's giving me some pop-up, I'm closing it. Alright, so what we need to do is firstly we need to have an integration runtime setup. So whenever you create a new data factory, just like I did, there is a by default integration runtime which is auto resolve integration runtime. The purpose of integration runtime is to process, to have give the processing power to the ADF. So it's a compute node where it performs some compute operations, right? So you get a by default integration runtime which is auto resolve integration runtime. We will be using this particular integration runtime in our project. If you want to learn more about integration runtime, I have a playlist. In that playlist there is a separate topic on integration runtime. Definitely you can check it out there. Now what we need to do is we need to go to link service and we need to create a link service. Now the question is, who are beginners? What is link service? So link service is nothing but a connection of ADF with any resource. Now in our case we want to link ADF with what? Our sheets. So there can be multiple link service, like multiple connection, with one connection maybe with the Google Sheets, one connection with maybe with the SQL database, one with the Oracle DB and so on. So whatever connections you need to create of ADF with any other data source, you need to have a link service. So we'll create a link service. I'll click on new. So these are the different resources where you can create a link with. Now we need to create a link service between the data factory and the Google Sheets. So I will search for Sheets. So we have Google Sheets preview. Preview means it is recently launched and it is in a preview phase. So we'll click on continue. Now I will just say Google Sheets link service, LS, link service. Now it's asking me for a token. Now the question is how to get a token, right? We will be passing this token via the Azure Key Vault. So let's see how we can create an Azure Key Vault also. Now via I can pass it token directly also via hand. Even we can use Azure Key Vault also. Now what's the speciality of Azure Key Vault? It basically you can say it's Azure resource which basically has collection of passwords and secrets of different things, right? Now whenever you have a secret or a password in Azure Key Vault, you need not to type the password or the secret. You can just give the secret name and that's it, and its latest version and everything, and you need not to have the password and all given to all the developers. So security issues are resolved by this, right? So now I'm planning, because it will be taking a lot of time creating a new Azure Key Vault, I'll directly pass the token. So I'll click on token and I'll let you know how to get this token from. So what you need to do is, for that you need to go to console.google cloud.google.com and you just need to create a new project. So again it's a Google Cloud. Again, whatever services are provided by Azure, similar services are also provided by Google also. Now what we will do is we will create a new project. Okay, we'll create a new project. I'll name the project as FinBI. It will automatically give the name. It will give a project ID. So it's FinBI 382515 something. I'll create it. Okay, so it's creating a project called FinBI. Alright, now once it created a project called FinBI, I'll click on it. Let me just open it. Alright, okay. Now I am, I guess, on FinBI. Let me just confirm it. No, I'm not on FinBI. So I'll just click on FinBI. Now I'm on FinBI project. So at the top left corner you can see all your project names. So I have selected FinBI project, and now I want an API and service of Google Cloud. Now if I go to API and services in Google Cloud, let's wait for it. It's loading. It takes some time. And we will click on enable APIs and services. So Google Cloud, give a lot of good services. Google Maps, Sheets, you can see a lot of them. Place API, Maps, JavaScript API, and so on. So most of them are public API also, and there are some private API also. So we need a Sheets API. So what I will do is I will search for Sheets. Once I search for Sheets, I will see Google Sheet API. I'll click on this Google Sheet API. I'll click on enable button to enable this API, and once this API is enabled, we are good to go. For those who don't know what is API, API is nothing but application programming interface. Basically, it's a service like you can just give a request and you will get a reply from a server. In this case, Google Sheets itself is a server. What we are doing is we are giving a request that give me some data, right? And that API will hit, and it will extract our data related to whatever is present in our Google Sheet, and it will give it us back. We will do an API call indirectly. Okay. Now our API is enabled for this project, but we need to have some credentials. So I'll click on credentials, and I will be using the minimum credential, which is API key. Obviously, if it is a very like it's a project, it's a production project, or it's a real life project, we will go for OAuth client ID, which is a very good for basically security purpose. But we are making a simple project, so I will just go for API key. The reason being, we need to make this Google Sheet public if we are using an API key. So now my API key is created. I'll copy this API key, and that's it. Now what you need to do is you need to go back to the link service. In the token, you will pass that API key, and you will click on test connection. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for the test connection to get successful. Just waiting for the test connection. Alright, so you can see the connection got successful, so I will click on create button. Once our link service is created, so now the connection between the Google Sheet API and ADF is possible, because we have created a link service, which is nothing but a connection between them. Now what we need to do? Now we need to perform some ETL operation on this data. So how we can do that? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to do nothing but we need to go to this author option. Now we will create a data flow. Basically, now the question is, generally we create data sets for everything. Now what are data sets? They are nothing but the schema of the table. But we already have a schema here, and we don't want unnecessary to create a data set and create a schema again. So what we need to do is we need to go to data flow. Now the question is, what are data flows? To perform ETL operation, like if you want to modify the data internally, we go for data flows, right? Now I will just create a data flow, and now here I will give a source. I will say add a source, and I will say this is my source. I will give the source name as only source. Now it will ask for data set. Now there are two things. Source type is dataset or inline. It's inline. We are getting the dataset from the Excel itself, so it's inline. So I will select inline. And what is the type? Is it a Cosmos DB? Is it a SQL database or what? It is nothing but what? It's an Excel sheet. Google Sheet, right? So I'll search for Sheets, Google Sheet. and that's it. I have searched for Google Sheet. It will ask for me the link service. By which link service we need to connect? We recently created a link service. I will select that. Just a moment. So here it is, Google Sheets LS. Now we need to do nothing but we need to create do the test connection. Now the thing is, it is not working. Reason being, we haven't turned on Dataflow debug. Okay. Now what does Dataflow debug does is, basically if I turn this Dataflow debug on, so it will do nothing but it's a processing power. Okay. So it will provide some compute thing. So I will do it for 1 hour. So it is the TTL, time to live. That means after 1 hour it will automatically get stopped, saving our money, saving our resources, right? Compute size is small and region is auto resolve, means it will automatically select a particular region which is giving more optimized results, right? Now I will press OK and our cluster will get turned on. Let's wait for it to get turned on and then we will test our things. Okay, let's wait. Okay, meanwhile our cluster is turning on. We'll go to source options. Here we need to give the sheet ID, sheet name, start cell and cell. Okay, now the question is how we can do that. So let me just show you the Google Sheet. So in this Google Sheet, sorry, my bad. Okay, so in this Google Sheet, if basically we need to go to file, we need to click on share and we need to go to share with others. So once you have gone to share with others, what we need to do is we need to make it anyone with this link and we need to copy the link. Okay, so once you have copied the link, you will see something like this. So this is nothing but the ID. So starting with 1M and ending with 0. So I will cut it out and now this was the sheet ID. Okay, so I will go back to ADF. So spreadsheet ID is this. Now it is asking for me for the spreadsheet name. So what I will do is I click on the edit option. So if you don't click and if you click on refresh, it will show you all the sheet names. But I will manually type it. So what is my sheet name? So I'll go back to my sheet and at the bottom I have the sheet name which is nothing but FD. Okay, FD stands for fixed deposit, right? Now sheet name is FD. I'll put it start cell. So we can give start cell and end cell. So start cell is my what? It is my A2. So let me just put start cell is nothing but A2 and my end cell is nothing but this one, which is my J16. Here also you can see J16. Okay, so I'll put what? J16. Now once I have done this, I will go to projection and I will import the schema. So it's importing. Let's wait for it. Okay. So it's importing the schema. If the schema is successfully imported, that means we are successful in creating all the connections. We are successful in importing the data. Okay. So let's wait. It may take some time because we have selected compute as small compute. Let's wait for it. Alright, so you can see it automatically, it have detected all the things. Now I will give schema option and there are the 3 schema option, which is validate schema and all. I don't want to do it, but what I will do is just see the column names. If I go to source settings and what I want is, because my header is basically the you can see the column name are like this. I don't want the column names to be like this, right? So I will basically, what I will do is, just a second. Okay, I can do nothing but as of now, but definitely we will do it afterwards. We will do it afterwards. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, my data has came successfully. So yeah, So I have the interest, and then this is the year, bank name, and I guess this was the date. So for date it is showing null. Let's see why it's showing null. Just a moment. We need to see that why it is showing date as null. So yeah, here I guess it's int only. So let's see what's the reason. Okay, firstly what I will do is we'll say select, okay, and I will select all the columns and I'll give you a mapping. Okay, so what is my column 1 is nothing but, this is how we can, basically map all the columns with a good column name. So if I say column 1 is nothing but name, so I will have name here, name, and the second one is nothing but date of maturity. I'll copy it from here itself, date of maturity, and then the amount is there, so I'll copy it, I'll put it here as amount. I'm basically doing the mapping part because it is taking my first row as a as a data only, so that's the reason why I'm doing this. So account number, which is unique ID, so account number, and then date of investment, bank name, here we have bank name, and then tenure, here we can have tenure, and then interest, here we can have interest. Okay, so this is what I have done. Alright, so data preview if we do, and if I refresh, so it will show me all the things. What I will do is I'll delete this row because it's not required now. So I'll delete the row. Okay, so what will happen is, just see. So now it's showing me specific data. So it is showing null. We'll correct it afterwards. Why it's showing null, we'll see it. I guess it may resolve afterwards. We'll see. Now we have all the data. What I want is, we can perform any operation. So you can just do a select, you can do even union, you can do some lookup, you can give rank function, windows functions, everything, and you can even filter on something. Okay, so I don't want to do any ETL operation. Basically I just want to select and I want to dump it, a basic ETL. But yeah, definitely based on your data you can perform all the ETL operation here. So I will search for sync itself. Okay, so now in sync what I will do is, in the sync I will go to settings. Again I need a link service connecting my ADF with that storage we created, which was the blob storage. So what I need to do is I need to go to link service again. So I'll go to link service, a new link service, and I'll search for blob storage. I'll click on continue, and I'll say blob storage LS, standing for Azure Blob Storage Link Service, and I will select my subscription. And basically what I will do is I'll search for the storage name. So in this subscription, whatever for storage name I have access to, it will show all the storage names. So I want to store it in storage FinBI. So I'll just create it. You can even test connection, it should be getting successful. So I know it will get successful, so I created it, but definitely you can check it out, right? Now I'm going to sync again. In this sync part, I need to select the data set. I need to create a new data set, a schema basically. I'll click on continue. I need to store it in the form of Parquet file, and I will just search for the link service, and I will create a container. So container name will be what? I'll say FinBI as the container name, and I'll give file name afterwards. If you will give file name now, it will give error because it doesn't exist. Okay, it will try to fetch schema, but that file will not exist, so it will give error. So the required blob is missing. Reason being, FinBI folder is not there. Okay, so what I will do is I'll go back to my portal.azure. I'll go to my FinBI resource group. I will search for the storage. Once I am in my storage, what I need to do is I need to go to containers. Containers will contain all my folders and some data. So it will be empty as of now. I'll create a new container. So In a blob storage, we can have multiple containers. In one container, we can have multiple files. So it's creating a container called FinBI. Now it will not give the error because we have FinBI. Okay. So if I press OK, this error will go. Okay, perfect. Now we have a data set which is Parquet one. Okay, I'll give a name. Okay, so FinBI data. So this will be our final Parquet file name, which will contain all that data getting from the Excel or the sheet basically, right? Now what I will do is if I go to this part and sync, and I will go to the setting option. So we can have setting option as output to a single file, and it should say get one partitioning. So so what you need to do is you can click on that button, or you can go to optimize and click on single partition. Okay, we don't want partitioning, so we can select single partition. Now I'll give file name as what? Whatever I have written in the data set. So I have given FinBI data as the file name. So same I'll paste it here in output to single file, and this is our Parquet file name, FinBI data. Okay. So now we are saying skip duplicate output columns, skip duplicate input columns and everything. Okay, based on that you can see, and this is what we have. We have column name, input column name, everything, right? Now our data flow is created. Now we want to execute that data flow. For that we need to create a pipeline. Okay. Now what we will do is we have a data flow activity. We have a data flow activity. We will drag and drop it. Okay. And now what we will do is we will say, we will go to settings. We will select the data flow. Which data flow we need to execute? It's asking. We need to execute this data flow 1. So I click on it. What kind of compute size it should be? I am giving it a medium compute so that it could be a bit fast. Okay. And now parameters, I don't want to pass anything. Everything is fine. I click on publish. If everything is fine, it will show us. If there is an error, it will show us again. Okay. So if you have any blocker at this particular point of time, definitely you can put in comment section. I'll try to resolve it. Now everything is published. Published means these changes are permanent. If I don't click on publish and I by mistake click on refresh, all the changes will be vanished. So make sure you click on publish all once you are done with the changes, right? Now we will do nothing but debug. Okay, we have something called debug and trigger. Again, I have a playlist created. You can see the difference, but I'll tell you, debug is whenever you are creating a pipeline. Once you are created with the pipeline, you can set up a trigger which will trigger the pipeline automatically without any human intervention, right? You can set the timings at this particular timing, execute this pipeline. It will automatically do for you, right? Now I will not do that. What I will do is, I will do simply nothing but I will click on debug option. Okay. So now once I debug it, so it will start executing the ETL operation. You can just click on this goggle icon to see more details. It's very fun playing with the pipelines. I enjoy a lot, creating new pipelines and then, checking out the data. So you will enjoy this process once you, go to intermediate level. So if you are at a beginner level, you will slowly struggle for it, but definitely you will enjoy this process. Now just see, here are the different operations. So firstly it will go to source, then it will execute the select one, and then it will go for sync one. So it will give these are the stages basically, and it is queued. Queued means it is under queue. It will be it hasn't started yet. We can click on refresh to refresh the status. Auto refresh do is on, and it succeeded. Wow, it succeeded. Now if I go to this blob storage, the FinBI, I should see a folder. Wow, that's created, FinBI data. Reason being, our computer I did was medium, so it was very fast. Now FinBI data is created. So this is a Parquet. Now what I want is, let me go back to the architecture. So we had sheets, we connected sheets with ADF. Now we performed ETL. We have performed a simple ETL, like we are just transforming the data. Like ADF is nothing but a staging area. What we did was we just did some data movement. We just stored it in a Parquet file in Blob storage, and now I want to connect this Blob storage with Power BI desktop and want to create visuals on top of it. Now, one important thing here was connecting sheets with ADF. It's live. That means if I change this record, in a case of Ritika and Jitika, I execute this pipeline again, my data will change. Okay, it's connected live. Alright, so that's an advantage. Now I need to do nothing but this thing is created, so I go to my Power BI desktop. So you must have installed Power BI desktop. This is how it looks like. Now what you need to do is you need to go to transform data. Basically you need to firstly have some data. So what you need to do is you need to click on get data. You need to go to more options. Once you are at more, let's wait. It's loading. It got hanged though. Let's wait. Alright, it's loading. Alright, now it got loaded. What I should do is I have a Parquet file. So I select Parquet and I select connect. So once I click on connect, it is asking me for a URL. Now which URL it is asking? It's asking URL of a blob container. So what I will do is I'll go back to the container. Inside this container, I have some access keys. So I need one key also, which we will provide afterwards. Okay. So we need a URL for this, right? So we can go to container properties, and this is the URL of the container. I'll copy it out. I'll press Alt Tab. I'll paste it here. I will go on OK, and now it will ask me for a key. Okay, account key to get connected with this. Okay, so how to go to account keys? Again, I'll go to FinBI. I'll go to the storage account. Here in this account, I have something called keys at the bottom. It's loading. Okay, access keys. I'll click on access keys, and I will, these are the two keys which we have. You can use anyone. I'll copy it out. I'll hide it, and I'll paste it here. That's it. I'll click on connect. It should get connected successfully. Okay, so the account, credentials are invalid. Let's see the reason. Okay, it's fine. FinBI. Okay, so the reason being, we need to, we are providing the wrong URL. So what we need to do is we need to go to storage FinBI, because we want to give the specific URL of the file, not the folder. So we are passing the URL of the folder, which is wrong. We need to give the we need to pass the URL for this file. So what I will do is I'll click on it. Basically, I'll click on it first, and once I click on this, I will get something like this. Here is a URL. We need to pass this URL. Okay, so that was the issue. It is given the wrong credential. So basically it is nothing but it is further, like we are specifying the file name also. So Power BI was confused which file I need to pick, right? So you need to give the complete URL. Now you can click on connect. Again it is saying in credential are invalid, so we can go to access policies again, and I will copy the key again. Just a second. I'll go to container and then access keys. Okay, I'll copy this key, and that's it, and I will paste it again. Let's go for it. Okay, so it got loaded. So key was wrong. So make sure you copy the key correctly, and it came, the data came. Okay, so this is how it looked like. Alright, now it's loading. So FinBI data is loading. Let it load. So now you can see the architecture is very well, right? So everything is connected. So if you do some change somewhere, it will get reflected here also in your visuals, right? Amazing. So now One thing I observed was the date of maturity and date of investment still is empty. Okay, so it's still empty. You can check, it's still empty. We don't want it empty. Obviously, we can't create visuals based on this date. So what I'm planning to do is, these are the derived dates. So what I will do is, firstly I'll cut everything. The reason being, when I created this table, so based on formula I wrote these dates. So maybe that may be a reason. If yes, we will cut it out. Control X, and what I will do is I'll paste special values only. Okay. So now these are fixed values. It's there is no formula which we can see. Now let's see if the error resolves or not. We'll go to ATF. Okay, so this is the debugging part. Let's see what mistake we did. So I'll go to my data flow. So this is my source, and my data flow debug is still on. It will be on for 1 hour. So I'll click on refresh. Once I click on refresh, let's see what kind of data I can see. Okay, still I am seeing null. Okay, nothing changed. So this is an issue. Maybe the ADF format for the date is something else. So what we can do is, in the source itself, just a second, what I can do is I can do some source setting, source projection, and I can do it to string. Afterwards I can then change it to date. Okay, so just a second, override schema. Okay, I can just change it to something like maybe a timestamp. Let's try. If everything works fine, it's fine. Otherwise, we'll do it to string, and then we'll convert further to date. So these kind of issues you may face, but you can you are an engineer and you can do some hacks to play with the data, right? Now it will go to data preview and we'll check it out. Okay, let's load. Okay, still it's null. I have nothing, but I need to definitely, what I need to do is, I need to go for a string again. Okay, I'm doing it to string. I want my data back, so I can do it. I'll click on refresh, and it should resolve now because it's a string, nothing else. Afterwards in Power BI, I can change it to date again. Okay, don't worry. So this is fine, I guess. This is also fine. Perfect. It's fine for us as of now. Okay. So now what I will do is, reason being, if you don't want this string format, you want it to be date format only. Just see what date format ADF accepts, and based on that you can change the format here, and it will automatically be fine. Okay, not an issue. But now I want to have these format only, so I'm going with string as of now. Now what I will do is I'll publish my changes. That means this thing will get permanent. Now the question is, did you remember in our blob storage, our old file is present? So if I go to this blob storage, in this file is present, but it is very old. If I go to this container and I go to FinBI, see, this is my FinBI, but it contains very old, basically, data, which is now I have done some changes, but as of now you will see it. You will not see the changes here. So how you will see the changes here? You need to run this pipeline again. So I will debug it quickly. Okay. So it's publishing. Publishing is completed. Now it will debug. So it's in progress. So let's wait for it. So yeah, it's under progress. All right. Still it is under progress. Let's wait for it. This time it's taking a lot of time. Okay, perfectly. It got successful in 50 seconds. And now you can see in FinBI also. So what's the timestamp? 9:16, which is older version. If I click on refresh, now timestamp will change to 9:27 or 28, something like that. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so it's modified at 9:27, 21 seconds, which is perfect. And now if I go to this, if I click on this thing, the visual option, I click on refresh. Now what will happen is, it will again evaluate, it will again refresh the data, and this time I should see dates because it's a new file. Okay, so I could see dates. Okay, date of maturity I can see, but this time I know date of maturity is nothing but what? A string. I want to convert it to what? I want to convert it into date. Okay, so I'll say date. It's a date. Okay, I'll say okay, continue. I want to convert it into date. I want it, okay, in date format. So it's in date format now, right? Okay, perfect. Now I want to do date of investment also in date, right? So I'll click date here. So this is a hack. In pipeline part, you will be applying a lot of hacks. So this is one of the hack, right? Now I confirm this should be a string. Okay, text, perfect. This is a date. Okay, amount is what? A decimal number is fine. Okay, principal should be a whole number. It's fine. Okay, we can even do amount to be a whole number. Your wish. Type should be a text. Account number is what? A whole number. It's fine. Nothing to be, nothing kind of issue. Date of investment should be date. It should be a text. Tenure should be a number, and interest should be also a number. Perfect. Everything is fine. You need to check data types everywhere because these are very, very important. Now let's start with making some visuals. Okay. Now, how to create a visual? So we have the data. Firstly, I will have some, maybe a pie chart. Okay. Okay, I have a pie chart. I want to show how much of my money is in which bank. Okay, so what I will do is I'll say bank. Okay, so we have three banks: Axis, HDFC, and IDFC. And how much amount is in a particular bank? Oh, so I can visualize now. You can see. Okay, so the money for this, let's say this is a family. Okay. So if I show you the Excel, so this is a complete family with Sai, Ritika and Jeet. In this family, let's say the family name is Ritika's family. In Ritika's family, so the maximum amount they have stored is in what? Which bank? IDFC bank. How much? 3.17 million rupees. Okay. So this is one of the insights you got. Like, they have their maximum investment in which bank? The IDFC bank. Okay, so I'm just closing it. Alright, so I got to know this thing. Okay, so now we can have I want to know, I want a line chart showing the date of investment and everything. So I'll go back. So what I will do is I'll click on anywhere in the white screen. I'll create a new line chart. So this is a line chart. What I want to see is date of investment versus the amount. Okay, date of investment versus the amount. So here is the amount. Okay, so what I got to know is there was no savings, very little saving in 2017. So in 2017, how much was the saving? 96,000 only. And then in 2019 the amount was 1,28,625, and then 56,000. It exceeded in 2021 6 lakh, and they are going incremental. So their family income is increasing, their saving is increasing in an exponential way, right? So you got to know about this. Now let's say I want to know which bank has provided the maximum interest. Okay, so how I can do that? I'll create a chart. Now I'll create a bar chart. Interest versus bank name. Okay, so just see, if I go to interest, it is doing the sum. So I want to, no, I don't want to do sum. Basically sum is nothing but it is adding all the interest, which I don't want actually. So I want average. Okay, so on an average, which bank is paying more? Okay, so IDFC Bank is paying more, and followed by Axis Bank paying more interest, and then at least HDFC Bank is giving least. And can we get to know? See, Ritika's family is very intelligent. They know that IDFC Bank is giving more, so their maximum amount is in which bank? IDFC Bank. Then in Axis Bank, and least is in HDFC Bank. So this is how you can visualize your data, right? Now, okay, that's perfect. That's a good thing. You can do everything. You can do a lot of operations now. So I want a bar graph, one new bar graph. Okay, here I will show. I want basically principal versus the amount. So just see, we have two values, principal and amount, right? And then we can basically also have the bank name also if you want. So bank also you can have. So just see, now the amount is something like 20 lakh something is the amount, 2 million something amount is present in IDFC Bank, and at the end they will be going to get 6 million and so on. So you are able to see insights now. Okay, so alright, so this is what we have done as of now. You can see amazing visuals. Now I want a freedom for people to slice the data accordingly also. So what I want is, in the second page I can create a new basically table visual where I can show all the account name, bank, and then date of investment, and maturity, amount, interest, everything. Okay, so based on your preference you can show the data. Okay, so just see, I don't want to show the last one. It's bad because it is summing the account number. Two things you can do: either you can do the account number to nothing but text. Okay, I'm doing that only because I want to show the basic details, sum of everything. So I will do it to what? It's a whole number. I don't want it as a whole number. I will do it to text. That's it. Okay, so it will do nothing but it will stop showing total now. Okay, if I go to Power BI, so it was showing sum of account number. So now I will again add account number and it will be fine. Okay. One thing more, whenever you add a date column, it will show separately month, year, quarter, and everything. So I will just click on here and I can click on date of investment. It will show date only. Date of maturity, it will show date only. Now it is fine looking cool, right? But I also want the user to slice this data. Okay, now this data is good, but I want the user to slice this data out. Okay, so how can a user slice this data? So we will create a slicer, bank slicer, date of investment slicer, and so on. Okay, so let's do that. Let me just make it a bit bigger so that it may look something like this. Okay, so yeah, now I will put some slicers. So a slicer is nothing to slice the data. So what basically we can have a slicer. Okay, something like this, and we can have a bank name. Based on bank name we can segregate the data. Okay, so bank as slicer. Now what I will do is we can do it anything. So basically you can see this is a slicer, and nothing but you can sort it somewhere and you can do anything. Like if I click on Axis, so it will show only the Axis Bank data, HDFC only HDFC Bank data, and IDFC only IDFC Bank data, and so on. Okay, so you can clear the slicer, and then I want a slicer again. I'll copy it. I can copy paste it, and I can have another slicer. Okay, in this slicer what I want is I want to have the date of investment, very common field, right? Now this is what I can have, right? So We can even go to slicer settings. We can do orientation of slicer also. We can have such slicers also, right? And based on your preference, you can select anything. Okay, so in the first rank you can see the insights. In the second page you can see this. Okay, and you can have KPI. Now what is KPI? Knowledge point information. How you can do that? You can create a KPI. Let's say you want to see what's the maximum amount you have invested in a particular FD. Okay, I want to show. So I will show a card. Okay, it's a card visual. So you can have a card visual, and then what you can do is you need to show the principal. Okay. So this is, you can actually see it's a sum of principal. 3 million means 30 lakh total saving is there. But I want to, I don't want to show 3 million. I want to show the maximum one. So it's showing maximum is 1 million. Means, the person have done FD of 1 million at max. Okay, that means 10 lakh rupees. Something like that. So you can get gainful insights from this data. Right? Now, just see one thing. One thing you see. If I just go back, if I have this, and I'm just, what I will do is, I'm deleting all the IDFC bank data. Okay. Now I will tell you why afterwards. Okay, so this is all IDFC bank data. IDFC. Okay, one is of HDFC also. It's fine. Okay. So I'll right click and I'll say delete rows. Okay. Now it only has Axis Bank data. Okay. Now if I just click on debug this debug option again. Okay. So my pipeline will get refreshed. You can add a trigger here. So you can set the trigger to every day. So every day it will refresh. So I just want to show if my Excel sheet or my Google sheet, is updated, whether my Power BI report will get updated or not. I want to show you that. Okay. So just see, it's loading, it's processing. Let us wait. Lastly it took 50 seconds, but now our data is less, so it should take less seconds according to me, but let's wait. 28 seconds are over. Okay, I guess it's taking that much time only, not sure why, even the data is less. Let's wait. 42 seconds. I guess it's taking more than 50 seconds now. It's fine, sometimes happens. So it took more than 50 seconds. Okay, 54 seconds, fine. Okay. Now what you do is, it's done. You just refresh the data and see what happens. You see the magic. This IDFC should disappear, HDFC should also disappear. And let's see, yes, you can see the data, it's live, right? So you can see all the things are back. Like this. So what I am doing is I am pressing Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y. Sorry. I guess one should be Ctrl Z. Okay, it's fine. So this is the final data I have, and that's it, right? I hope you found this project amazing. I'll go to architecture again. Let's revisit. So we had sheets, we connected sheets with the ETL, like we performed some ETL in ETF, and then we had a blob storage, and on top of it, we created a Power BI report. I hope you enjoyed this video end-to-end project. You can put it in your resume, and you can, get more interview calls based on this project. You will get to know about what are sheets, how you can connect sheets with ATF, how you can perform ETL in ATF, then what is Azure, Blob storage, what is Parquet file, and how you can create visuals in Power BI. So these are all the topics we covered in this video. Thank you for seeing, again in such end-to-end projects. Till then, bye-bye, take care, and happy coding and creating pipelines. Bye.